Microsoft Fabric is the part of analytics in the era of AI. So today we will discuss in detail about it. So as we all are aware of, there are so many AI tools, so many platform where AI is helping. Like if you have heard about ChatGPT, then Copilot. Copilot is also a part of Microsoft Fabric. So we also have to continuously evolve with the time and with all the recent technologies which has been introduced. So Microsoft conducted an yearly event which is known as Microsoft Build, in which they launch their new products. Though they provide monthly update every month related to their technology, but in 2023, May 2023, they have launched the Microsoft Fabric. So we will going to discuss about it. So first, let's discuss about what Microsoft Fabric actually is. So basically, Microsoft Fabric is a tool where Microsoft has combined its all the technologies, like we can say Power BI or Azure or data lakes, lakehouse, warehouse, everything. So if we talk about the definition of it, then simply Microsoft Fabric is a platform which provides the customer with a software as a service enabled, open, and a lake-centric, fully featured platform which will help data analysts to complete an end-to-end project. So I'm going to share an image which contain the list of various tools which are used by in the industry. You can see first there is infrastructure part, then there is tools which contain in the analytics part, machine learning part, and there are so many other tools. And there is no single day when there is new update in any technologies. So for a single person, it's impossible to have knowledge of everything. Or even if we talk about 4 or 5 tools, then no single person can be expert in all of them. Someone can be expert in a single technology or two, but for all of them there is very it's very difficult. So Microsoft did it, they launched a technology called Microsoft Fabric, in which they have combined few of its services provided by Microsoft, like as you can see on screen: Data Factory, Synapse Data Engineering, Synapse Data Science, Power BI, Real Time Analytics, and Data Activator. And this is not limited to this only. In future there are also going to be lots of addition in this. So let's understand it in a very simpler way. I will try to explain it so that you can relate. So if you have ever attended a wedding event, so there are lots of work which we assign to different persons. Like for someone we assign the work for arranging bands, or someone to arrange the gardens. But on the other hand, we have the option for like book event manager. So why we book event manager? So that he can arrange all these things and we don't have to worry about it. We can understand it in the different manner too. If you have ever gone on a trip with your friends, then if you go by your own, then one of your friend will be managing the booking of hotels, then other one will be looking for food, and someone else will look for the travel expenses. So it become hectic to assign different tasks to different peoples. And same thing if we come to technology, then if you are aware of Microsoft 365, which contain Excel, Words, and PowerPoint. So earlier these all are different tools, but what Microsoft did is combine them all within Microsoft 365. So the basic idea behind it is to provide a single license. If we talk in terms of licensing, then provide a single license, and then we can get access to all these tools. So same thing Microsoft did this for the data analytics field. Earlier, what we have to do is we have to purchase different license for different requirement. Let's say I want to store my data, so I have to purchase the costing for data warehouse. Then if I want to create Power BI reports, then I have to purchase license for Power BI. So there are various other tools for which we have to go individually search about it, and it's hard to manage all of them. So what Microsoft did is they have introduced this Microsoft Fabric, in which they have like combined all the technologies inside one umbrella. So we just have to purchase Microsoft Fabric license and we will get access to all of these. So on a basic note, when we talk about a project, a data analytics project or a data science project, then it requires a data engineering team, data warehousing team, and data lake team for data storage. So normally they will all be maintaining their own separate data platforms and data solutions. So here comes Fabric, which tries to unify everything into one platform so that any duplication is reduced and costs are minimized. So this offers the separate solution for each of these three teams. We talked about the data engineering, data analytics, and data warehouse. So we will have Data Factory, which can help us with the any task related to data pipelines or data flow, and this will help the data engineering team. Then we will have Data Lake and Data Warehouse, which will help the data warehouse team. And finally, we will be having the Power BI, data science, and real-time analytics stuffs, which will help to create visualization or create machine learning models, etc. So the main question arises here is, right now we understood the concept behind why Microsoft has introduced it. So again, the question is this: what's new in this? All this technology already exists. We have access to it. So Fabric is not entirely new software. Many of its existing features, such as Synapse Data Engineering, data warehousing, or data Power BI, all these already exist, but there are various some other features like one lake and one security, or we can say Microsoft Purview, which are entirely new, and we are also going to discuss them further. So what Microsoft Fabric does is it kind of breaks everything together into one umbrella, so that when you are managing an entire organization, you can use one tool or one platform rather than multiple different things. And also the data is stored at a single place only. Earlier the data is, like, let's suppose in a project, there are multiple sources for data storage. Sometimes we get the data from live source, sometimes it's stored in AWS, sometimes it's stored in data warehouse. So with the introduction of Microsoft Fabric, all the data which we are going to use will be get stored into one lake. So you can also explore the Microsoft Fabric if you have the business account or school ID. Then you can simply log in into the Power BI services, and then you can enable the trial for Microsoft Fabric. So now we will understand why Microsoft Fabric. Already the concept is clear. It combines all the technologies, and there are a few things like, as you can see on the right hand side, it provides single onboarding and trials at a single platform. You will get everything. Then we have a simplified navigation model and UX model. Then we have the option for workspace organization. We can create workspace and assign different team to different workspaces. Then there is collaborations options, so multiple developers can work at a single place. Then data lake option is available. Storage format, one copy of data can be used at all the different places. So these are few points which we can use, which we can say important in terms of Microsoft Fabric. So now let's move ahead and we will see what are the services provided within Microsoft Fabric. So mainly there are these seven services which are inside the Microsoft Fabric. So we are going to discuss each one of them in detail. So firstly, let's see what are the services. First is Data Factory, which combine the ease of Power Query with the scale and power of Azure Data Factory to leverage 200 plus native connectors to data sources on-premise and in cloud. So in the yesterday session, if you have attended, we talked about Power BI, and we have discussed that Power BI contain more than 180 plus data sources to get the data in our Power BI report. So the same thing we also have seen about the Power Query editor. The same interface we get in the Data Factory, and here we have the option to connect with 200 plus native connectors. Then we have data engineering, which is a world-class Spark platform with great authoring experience to empower data engineers to transform data at scale. So we'll see this in the Microsoft Fabric platform itself. We have the option for Lakehouse, notebooks, and then environments to create it. After it, we have data warehouse. This is particularly used to store our data. And we also have the option for data lakehouse. We will see the difference further. Then we have the services, which is for particularly for data science, in which we can create machine learning models or perform data science operations. After it, we have real-time intelligence, which is best-in-class engine for observational data analytics to create actionable insight from the real-time data. After it, we have Power BI. We already discussed about it in the yesterday session. Basically, Power BI is a tool which we use to create reports and dashboards. And at last, we have the option for data activator, which will provide us alert when a certain KPI has been exceeded or related custom alert, we can set it. So these are few services which are provided with Microsoft Fabric. And let's see each one of them in the Microsoft Fabric platform. So you have to log into the Microsoft Fabric platform. You simply search about it, and this will be the interface which you will see. And here you can see all the services which are which we discussed right now. Here one more new industry solution is introduced, but this is in preview right now, so we are not going to discuss it in this session. But these are the main things: Power BI, Data Factory, Data Activator, Real-Time Intelligence, and all this. So let's see in detail how you can explore. What you have to do is you simply have to create a new workspace and then click on the new create items button, and then you will get the list of all these items available within Microsoft Fabric. We are going to discuss about each one of them now. So let's begin with data activator. So as we have discussed, it detects patterns and condition in your Power BI report or streaming data, and then you can take action such as alert or kick off workflows according to your need. So we get the option for reflex, and one reflex sample is also available. Then we have data engineering service. This contains Lakehouse, notebook, environment. So first we will discuss about Lakehouse. So this is used to store big data for cleaning, querying, reporting, and sharing. So basically in Lakehouse. Further, we are going to discuss about warehouse. Both these tools are used to store data, but particularly if we talk about Lakehouse, then Lakehouse can be used to store structured as well as unstructured data and also semi-structured data. But in warehouse, we can only store structured data. So this is the major difference between it. And in Lakehouse, we cannot perform the write operation on our dataset. Simply, in simple words, we can say we cannot update our dataset or make any changes within our dataset. But in warehouse, we can do that using SQL. So this is the particularly about Lakehouse. Then we have notebooks. The notebooks, what we can do is explore data and build machine learning solutions with Apache Spark application. And to create these items, there is no much thing you have to do. You simply have to click on it and you have to enter a name. And once you enter the name, the Lakehouse will be created, or any other item which you will choose will get created. We will not go in much detail because this is only the introduction section. So I will give you the overview for it. So within Notebook, we get the option to write our codes. We can write it in PySpark, PySQL, or you can write it in R language. So few language options are available, and Microsoft is constantly updating its services. So in future, you can also see more services, more language option within this notebook. Then we have environment option. So we can use this to set up shared libraries, Spark compute settings, and resources for notebooks and Spark job definition. And then we have the option for Spark job definition. So the main three things in the data engineering section are Lakehouse, notebooks, and environment. Then we have the option for data factory. So this contain two items: data flow generation 2 and data pipeline. So data flow generation 2 is nothing. It is similar to the Power Query editor which we use in Power BI. We can prepare, clean, and transform data. The interface is completely same. Let's see one by creating one data flow. We simply have to click on it and it will get created. Okay, so now our data flow is created, and you can see the interface is completely same as Power Query editor. We have the home button, then transform button, add button. In the home button, we get the option to import the data. This thing you are already familiar in Power BI if you have used it. There are some additional options to import the data. Some lakehouse option is also available, which is also available in Power BI now. And we can also create shortcuts to import data. That's a bit advanced part. We will discuss it later. So yeah, this is how you can create data flow. Next, we have data pipeline. So this is used to ingest data at scale and schedule data workflow. So if you have worked with the Azure Data Factory, there you might have created data pipeline to import the data. This will completely like pull the data from your source and put it into your lakehouse or warehouse as it is. Or you can also apply transformation by ingesting data flow or notebooks within the data pipeline itself. So this is all about data factory service. Next, we will move toward data science. So here we have the option to create machine learning models. We can use machine learning models to predict outcomes and detect anomalies in the data. Then we have experiment, create, run, and track development of multiple models for validating hypotheses. And then again, we have notebook. This is similar to the data engineering notebook, which we have discussed, and environment too. So yeah, we can also perform the data science things within the Microsoft Fabric itself. But if you particularly focus on the data analytics role, so you only have to be aware about the data factory, data engineering, and Power BI part. Data science thing is not as much used till now, but yeah, it is helpful. Then we have the option for data warehouse. We have already discussed about the difference between lakehouse and warehouse. So warehouse can be used to store the structured data, and you can perform the right operation within the warehouse. Also, some options are available in preview. But these are not generally available, so we are not going to discuss about it right now. Then we have some industry solutions. We already get pre-created reports and pre-created machine learning models, and all these things are already available. You just have to enter your data. Then we can talk about Power BI. We have the options for reports, paginated reports, scorecard, dashboards. So here you don't see anything new. Reports, dashboards is already there in Power BI. But there are some things which are introduced within report and dashboards like Git integration or calculations groups, semantic models. These are some features which are part of Microsoft Fabric, which are really helpful for collaborating with your teammates or collaborating with other team clients to know their feedbacks and provide them different workspace like deployment, test, and production. So these are like helpful in that. And at last we have real-time intelligence, which contain event house, KQL query set, and real-time dashboard. So if we talk about this KQL, so KQL is custom query language, which is the foundation of real-time analytics within Microsoft Fabric, and it allows high volume data analytics across a wide range of structured as well as unstructured data. And Custo can be used to carry a variety of data types such as Internet of Things or time series data. One of the key benefits of using KQL is the ability to load vast amount of data within seconds. So these are some most popular services provided within the real time within Microsoft Fabric. So yeah, we have discussed about the services provided. Now let's move toward OneLake. So you might be wondering, Microsoft is providing so many services, so many tools are available, but where they will store their data? So here is the thing: Microsoft is going to store its data within OneLake. They are calling it OneLake, but we can term it as a OneDrive for our data. So OneLake is Fabric's lake-centric architecture, which provide a single integrated environment for data professionals and the business to collaborate on data project. It facilitates collaboration between data team members and save times by eliminating the need to move and copy data again and again between different systems and different teams. So one copy is a key component of OneLake, which will allow you to read data from a single copy without moving or duplicating the data. And also it provides a centralized location to store all the organization data, ensuring seamless operation across various technologies. So if we talk about the technology behind OneLake, so OneLake is built on the top of Azure Data Lake Storage Generation 2, which offers a unified software as a service experience for both professional as well as citizens developer. So this is all about the OneLake within Microsoft Fabric. You can see if we are going to use Data Factory or any of the tool consists within Microsoft Fabric, these all are going to store its data inside OneLake, and it is a provisioned automatically with the tenant, and all workload automatically stores their data in the OneLake workspace folder. So whenever you create a new item, it will also create a data set file which will get stored in the data parquet format. So this leads into the next thing, which is how they are actually going to store their data within OneLake. So they are going to store all of their data in something called as open delta parquet format. So this means that no matter what services or tools you are using, it's going to use the same data in OneLake and all in that same open delta parquet format. So this thing you have to keep in mind. You have already aware about the CSV format or .xls when you are storing the Excel data, or your data might reside in text file. So in Fabric, it will going to store the data in parquet format. Why? Because it's really efficient at storing a lot of data, and it's also really flexible. So it can be used with a lot of analytics tools. And parquet format is actually really important in this whole OneLake architecture. So this is about the OneLake thing. Now there is a new feature, or we can say new mode, which is introduced within the Power BI, which is part of Microsoft Fabric. So earlier, if you remember, yesterday we have discussed about two modes, using which we import data in our Power BI reports. One is import mode, and second one is direct query mode. So in direct query mode, what happens is data reside at the source itself, but we can query it using the Power BI analysis service. We can perform operation and we get the uh, option to see real-time data, but the process is a bit slow. On the other hand, if we talk about the import mode, then the process will be fast, but we have to duplicate the data and it will cause the additional data size. We have to create a new copy of our data. So what Microsoft has does, it created a new direct lake mode in which we are going to scan our data directly from the one lake. All our data will be stored in the one lake and in the form of Delta Lake. So it will improve the performance, which is the requirement of our import mode, and it also provides the real-time data, which will solve our issue of direct query. So we get both these things inside our direct lake mode. So yeah, this is the things which we get within Microsoft Power BI. So these are all the things which are going to get covered within Microsoft Fabric. So I will also show you some of the lakehouse or warehouse we can create. How we can create, as I've already said, we have to enter the name. Let's enter demo warehouse. We simply have to click on it, just click create, and the data warehouse will get created. You don't have to do anything. Microsoft Fabric will do it all. So you can see here the warehouse has been get created. Now you can see here schemas are available, securities. Let's import a Excel file. In it, we can import the data using data flow generation 2 or using data pipeline. So we will create a data flow and then we will store the data within this warehouse. So right now we have created a demo warehouse. Now let's create a data flow. In this, we are getting the option to import from Excel. So we will select our Excel file. So this will create a connection with your file. You just have to simply click on next and it will get loaded. The same interface we get in Power BI, the preview option, we can select from here whatever table we want to import and then click on create. So here we got the data. We are not going to apply some transformation as we just want to see how we can store that into our warehouse. So on the bottom right, you can see the option for data destination. So here we have to enter the destination of our data where we want to store it, or you can find here in the middle also option for Azure, option for data destination. So here you can see we can store it into the Azure SQL database, Lakehouse, Azure Data Explorer, which is KQL database, which we discussed, and warehouse. So right now we have created a demo warehouse. So we will click simply on data warehouse from here, or you can simply click from here too. Now you have to select the data warehouse where you want to store. First, it will establish a connection between the data flow and the data warehouse. Now you will see the list of all the data warehouses which are present within your workspace. So now, right now, as we have created a new warehouse, so this is empty. You cannot see anything, but let's say some table already exists in your warehouse. So you can select this existing table option, or right now we are going to start with the new table. The name it will automatically detect from the sheet. We will simply have to click on the next button. Now we have to select what we want to do. If already there is some data and we want to append some new data, then we can click on append. And if we want to completely replace the data, then you can click on replace. And then it will detect the data type. If you want to change, you can change the data type, or else you can go ahead. So we'll click on save setting option. And then we just have to click on this publish button. So now you can see we are working on this data flow 3, and this started loading the data into our warehouse. So once this process is completed, we are good to go with our data in our data warehouse. So let's wait for it. Till now, let's see the features in Microsoft Fabric. So to be updated with all the new features, what you have to do, if you are using the older version of Power BI, first you have to update it. You can check it using this, going to the help section, and in the about section, you can see which version you are using or which month lastly the Power BI get updated. So as you can see, my Power BI desktop app has been updated in June 2024. So I will get access to all the recent updates. So I will recommend you all to be updated. Then you simply have to click on this settings icon. If you don't find it here, you can click on file option and then go to options and settings. And then you have to go to options. In this list, you will find an option for preview feature. So you can go to preview feature. And as we are all in learning phase, so I will recommend you to explore all the options, check all the options, whatever appears, and explore it, read the documentation. You can simply click on the learn more in front of the option and explore it so that you can be industry updated, because there are so many updates, but the developers lack them because they don't enable the updates. So you can simply click on it from here and then click on OK. So the new functions will be enabled in your Power BI desktop. So as we were discussing about the lakehouse and warehouse, so now we get the option for one lake data hub. The one lake we talked about, which stores the data in Microsoft Fabric. Here we get the option for lakehouse and warehouse. Then we have a new DAX query view, and using which we can explore our data model. In the model view, we have two options. One is of table and one is of model. So in this model, we get the option to create calculation group. Earlier, we can create it using external tools like tabular editor, but now we can create it right within the Power BI desktop itself. So these are few features. Copilot, we have discussed it yesterday. So this is also a part of Microsoft Fabric, but for this you have to purchase premium license, which is very costly. So this can be purchased at organizational level, and then you can explore it. This is very similar to ChatGPT, what you use outside. That thing you can use inside the Power BI itself, and then you can explore it. So I will quickly going to share what Copilot contain and what are the things which we can use using Copilot. So you can simply search on the Google Copilot in Microsoft Fabric, and you will get this blog provided by Microsoft itself. So in this, I'm not going to discuss the requirement. You can read it. We will mainly focus on this part, what we can do using Copilot. So we can summarize the underlying semantic models. We can suggest content for a report. We can simply enter that I have a sales data, create a Power BI report for using this data. Or if you have, let's say, any specific requirement, then you can also enter it. We can create a report page. We can create a summary visuals on the report itself. Then we can ask questions about our data in the models. Let's say I have again sales data. I want to see how's the performance in the past 1 week. Then I can enter it as a prompt in our natural language. Then we can add synonyms to enhance question and answer. We can add description for your semantic model measures, and we can also write DAX queries. So these are few features which are available in the Copilot, which is part of again Microsoft Fabric. So this is all which contain Microsoft Fabric.